Brilliant. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
No
No
worries
worries.
at all.
How's life going at the moment then?
Slowly.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's Friday night though, so it's all
Actually,
good.
it's really not. There's not enough fucking hours in the day.
Yeah.
We're trying to be on tour whilst finishing an EP, whilst sorting out videos, whilst writing a comic, whilst it's just fucking
There's a lot
non-stop.
going on in the gym. We were on the Pale Waves tour until a few days ago, but then James got told by the doctor he couldn't perform for a week. So we've all come home for a few days, and then we'll be back out on Monday again.
All
Uh,
right. So you are going back on the tour then?
yeah.
Yeah, I just burnt myself out and I just lost my voice and I was just fucked. So I just needed a week to get back on
Yeah.
track.
Okay. I mean, but how was it going up to that point? Because we've had a few guys see you on tour, and the reviews have been great. But from your side, how's it been going?
Really good.
But yeah, I mean the shows have been great. I think the last show before we had to come off vocally wasn't the best. I think like because you were literally losing your voice.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're both shagged. We've been. I mean, the couple of days before we went on tour, me and Han did a 12-hour session of singing to finish this EP in time to go away, and it's just taking
really
so much out of us.
really battered our vocals, and I think like that's the thing. Like we weren't given the show on the last one. The performance musically it was great.
Yeah.
Crowd was wicked. I think me and James get super frustrated when we can't sing how we want to sing, and I think that was
Yeah.
just because we had literally done our vocals in to the point, which is the thing, like we're on a really a low budget EP, and I think that's the unfortunateness of it, is that we have to fit a lot in a short space of time. And
Yeah.
I think we kind of burnt the candle at both ends, so we miss the smaller shows on the tour, and then we'll be back for the last 5 shows, so really we missed 4 out of 14.
I'm pretty gutted that we missed Ireland though, because like it's just constantly missing it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, we're going back to Ireland in October though on a headline, so I think
yeah, true.
we'll make it up for it then with everybody hopefully. So
I mean, just going on to the tour then, I mean, and particularly Pale Waves, do you think that tour was kind of a perfect tour for you in terms of Pale Waves, given you, maybe not musically, but you've got similar ethics and the inclusivity and that kind of thing?
yeah, we definitely have similar ethics. I also think like we're Pale Waves fans. I think people that like Pale Waves like Bring Me the Horizon, like like 1975, will like Hot Milk. So I think people aren't as narrow musically as they used to be. So I think if they like Pale Waves, then they'll like Hot Milk. And I think some people might not have expected us to come out all guns blazing, ready to fucking go, but that's us, and we're only ever going to be ourselves on the tour. We're only ever going to be who we are. So I think maybe it's a bit wacky for it, maybe considering Pale Waves supports in the past, but I think it's a reflection of the 21st century, because there's a lot of similarities there with like you said, ethics and fashion and all the other things that make people.
Okay, I mean, for you personally, Han, what do you get from working with somebody like Heather? I mean, because obviously, like in the LGBT community, she's getting quite I don't want to say poster child, but she's getting that kind of standing where she's quite an icon amongst that kind of audience. I mean, what do you get from working with somebody like that?
I think with
Watching her.
Heather, it's quite interesting because we're from the same place. Like we're both from Preston. We're both in same-sex relationships. We're both the same age. So there's a lot of similarities there, but I think we both have very different styles of performing. She's a lot bit more chill than I am, and that's something that I think she's a lot more sure of herself probably than I am as well. So I think that's probably something that I could probably take from that. But again, it's who I am, innit? Like I can't change myself, but she's more chill and I'm a bit more erratic and like full of ADHD, you know what I mean? So but that's the thing with it's nice to be around a different kind of culture and flavor of people than maybe what we're typically used to, because Pale Waves, that they have got this like more melancholic, calmer vibe throughout some of their set. I think that's something that we maybe want to put into our headline eventually, maybe some more calmer moments.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I've seen you already. I know exactly what it's like. So yeah, don't change that.
Okay. We'll try not to. It's just
Okay, and just I mean, the last 2 years, it's been a bit of a shit show across the music industry. I mean, what's kept you going?
I think we've had basically the ability to carry on writing music. Like I've literally got this room here. Like I'm currently finishing off the next EP. So just having the ability you know, as small as it is, for us to carry on and actually still create music and, you know, be artists rather than just waking up every day with no fucking purpose,
Yeah.
kind of kept us going and giving us, you know, life, and still keeping us focused on, you know, on the band and what we want to do. So I feel like that is probably the biggest factor of keeping us sane and keeping us alive. Like, if we didn't have that, I don't know what the fuck we'd be doing.
I think we needed the focus, didn't we? I think it was almost like an obsession through the pandemic. It's like we have nothing else to keep us distracted. This is it. Like, we had to forcibly, you know. I remember driving home through the rain one night mid-pandemic, and like from James's house, and I think because I was living alone at that point, like I had the ability to go to James's house, you know, do that. And I think I remember just like nearly crying, being like, is this my life? Like, what the fuck? It's like raining, it's 3:30 in the morning. I can't do what I want to do. Like, I feel so far away from the thing that I did want to do. And I was just like, I don't want to live like this. It's fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it just makes you really like go to some horrible places in your head, but then you go, no, I have to keep doing this because there hopefully is like some light somewhere.
Has that given you inspiration for lyrics and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Like, it's not necessarily writing about the pandemic, but it's more about the introspection of understanding your emotions and
life in general, and its kind of fragility, and you know, how everything can be taken away at a moment's notice.
I was just going to say, what about musically? I mean, has that given you time to kind of explore the sound? Like you've touched on, obviously you toured with Pale Waves, and you've seen obviously the difference in the two bands musically, and maybe exploring different ideas. Has that given you time to do that?
Yes and no. I feel like we never give ourselves time to actually. We do everything. So like, although we do put a lot of time into the actual creation of music, there are hundreds of other things that need to be done as well. Like down to checking our tax forms, building the live rigs,
soldering cables.
Yeah, exactly. So we all, I mean, we've always explored with different sounds, like throughout the history of Hot Milk, however short that's been. Like we always try to explore with new flavors and push ourselves, and kind of, because Hannah and I listen to such a breadth of music, we've never wanted to, especially with like an album or an EP, we'd never want to play the same song twice. So I think that just comes kind of naturally to our creation, process.
Yeah. Like we wrote a song recently in Mark Hoppus's basement with
Dave Grohl's guitar.
Dave Grohl's guitar. And it was like a song that we were like, is this Hot Milk? I don't know. It's weird. But then I was like, but then it is, because it is us. Like, I don't think that's necessarily like anything that we would ever shy away from, because if it came out of us, it is us. And honestly, even 10 years time, we're playing Creamfields with a drum and bass set, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, fuck it, it's a project, it's a thing that can constantly evolve. Like, I would love to be able to create something that is so unique and its own thing, and people to be unexpected, and like
and that's kind of like, you see it less often now, but like the die-hard fans of certain bands, when they do their third album and they try something new, and everyone's like, well, that's shit. It's it might be shit, but at least they're trying to do something different. Like, at least they're not kind of putting the same shit out every single year. What do you want them to do? Write the same song 12 times?
Is it shit, or is it just growing?
Exactly. And that's it. People have to make mistakes in order to realize, like, oh, okay, maybe that didn't work. Oh, let's try something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think with us though, and our fans, they know that we're a bit mad and that we might just come up with something weird. Like, so I think we've had that premise since day one, and I think they know what to expect. So if we did massively change, I think they'd just be like, Hot Milk. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what we can do.
It's a great way to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I mean, you've touched on Dave Grohl. I mean, you kind of started your career, obviously, you got the Foo Fighters gigs, and that was a massive. And then, obviously, the last 2 years, it's all gone a bit pear-shaped for everyone. Yeah. You kind of came back with a bit of a bang. I mean, you did the download gig at, obviously, the pilot festival, and then you did Reading and Leeds. Not a bad kind of way to go.
It wasn't a bad year considering
Yeah.
the absolute shit show that it started off with. I think, yeah, we've been very, very lucky, and I think the music has spoken for itself. You know, the only reason we got the Foo Fighters shows is because he got sent the music and he liked it. And I think that's the thing. It's like we've always been music first, and it's always, you know, you don't have this massive big label team, and we were unsigned until very, very recently, you know.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been, we're still the driving force behind it, you know. We're still very much in control. There's no label that's going to tell me what to do, you know. It's still very much us kind of, you know, us against the world, and all the opportunities that we have had, I've been, you know, very, very grateful for. And I think we've been very, very lucky. But I also think, you know, we have worked hard on the songs, so I think hopefully that's because the songs are speaking for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, is that must be, from your point of view, that must be quite satisfying. I mean, you're now being labelled as one of the hottest bands of 2022, and you know you're being bigged up again. And given the fact that there's been nothing for the last 2 years, it must be quite really rewarding coming back and not picking up where it left off. But
yeah, I mean, you say that
it is, but we never take. It's really, we find it really hard to take on praise.
Yeah.
We never.
Really hard.
And I don't know, because we constantly go through this flux of like, we love the songs that we're writing, we hate the songs we're writing. Are we doing this right? Should we be doing more here? How the fuck do you use TikTok? Like, it's it's never ending. So like when someone's like, oh, you're the hottest band of 2022, you're like, you see everything that's going on and you're like, yeah, but we didn't get this, or we didn't, you know, this. So it's a constant battle between like having the drive and understanding like the further reach of like, I want to achieve this and we're not quite getting it, but also the ability to take on praise and be like, okay, maybe we're not doing too bad.
I always say that I'm uncomfortable with praise yet constantly seeking it. And it's very, very, it's a horrible oxymoron, because I'm never satisfied, which is a big, massive, bad trait of mine. Because I constantly feel like I've got imposter syndrome and I'm not good enough. And the amount of times I cry to my girlfriend and just be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, but then at the same time, sometimes I do really feel like I know what I'm doing, but then I don't think anybody really does. So
absolutely.
I think they're probably just lying. Like, get a grip. I don't know. I think life is like a mad thing, really, if you think about it. I think everyone just fakes it until they have something to show for it. But fuck it, it's a game.
Yeah, but I mean, on the flip side of that, you must look at, so like you said, I mean, 6 months before the Foo Fighters gigs, you were working in an office, and then next thing you must walk off stage and just think, you know, wow, this is, you know, the wow.
Yeah.
And you know, the download pilot, same thing, walking out in front of.
You do have some of those moments.
Again, in front of everyone,
yeah. Going back to like sitting in fucking Mark Hopper's basement studio with Dave Grohl's guitar, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
but it's also at the same time, it's like I fully expected that to happen, because I have to manifest it. I'm like, of course. I'm like, why weren't we here earlier?
We do laugh to each other sometimes, just being like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, we're not from anywhere, you know, our parents are very normal people, and it's like, that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. The BBC want to film you. Why?
Yeah.
Do they know who they're filming? Like, I don't know. It's funny. It's just, you've got to take it as it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hope for the best. I don't know. It's just jokes.
Okay, so just going forward then into 2022, what can we expect from you in terms of touring and new music and a comic? And
yeah, so we've got a new single. We're basically mixing that at the moment. That's probably going to be out end of March. We've got
sorry, I was going to say his touring schedule. It's May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So
and we've also got to write an album in that time.
Yeah,
bit all right. Nice.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, it's busy, but we like to be busy. So we're going to like new territories we've never been before. We're going, we've got a potential headline tour in the US. We've got some festivals out in the US. We've got potential tours in Australia. We've got these European festivals that have been kicked down the road for like 2 years now.
Right.
So if it all comes together, it's going to be a fucking sick year.
Yeah.
But the anxiety of like, what if it just gets taken away? Because obviously this tour that with Palewaves, like, we thought, we're cracking, ready to go, and then out of nowhere, burnout and James's voice is gone. and we were like, fuck, they've got to now pull out of 4 shows. Like, what the fuck, mad thing. But and that's the thing. Like, life does that though, so you've just got to roll with the punches, haven't you? Really. But again, if all goes well, very exciting. If not, we'll just kind of try quietly.
It's all good. It'll all be great. That's how I'm looking at it anyway. My diary went from literally every night to just nothing. So now it's just everything's good. Okay, I mean, recently, we've seen the Bring Me the Horizon collaboration with Ed Sheeran, and I think one of you talked about Joan Jett being a massive inspiration for you. Who would your ultimate collaboration be with?
I mean, Joan's in discussion, I think, isn't it? Yeah, great, legendary, but I think
I'd still love to write with Dave. I've just finished his book, and I just felt like his life is so mental. Like, I can kind of, it's another one. Like, I could I'm not putting myself on a level with Dave Grohl, Jesus Christ, but like the stuff where he kind of just happened to be in the same place where Iggy Pop was playing a show and they needed a drummer, so he ended up playing drums for him, and just kind of little stuff like that happening where the universe kind of gives you a little bit of a nudge. And I can relate to that a little bit, because we manifest so much and just kind of like try and bring it into real life, that sometimes it does happen. So I'd love to do a song with him.
I mean, it nearly happened when we were in LA. We were nearly going to go and write some stuff with him, but then it kind of fell through because we were too busy. But I think collaborations wise, I mean, I'd love anything from, like, you know, someone from the past and someone from the present, like Post Malone from today would be a great collaboration for us. I think we come up with something really cool. But then, you know, like fucking anyone from Ozzy to fucking, I don't know,
Madonna.
Like people, I'd love to hear someone that was living it in the 70s and 80s and really have a conversation, because I love people. I love people's stories. I'm obsessed with finding out about, you know, the
experiences.
And I think collaboration isn't not just what you get out of a song, like song-wise. I think it's learning from your elders and having respect for where our music comes from, because it's something that's really, really important to me, which is why I'm reading like so many books at the moment. Like, this is the Nicky.
I've read that. It's fantastic.
It's great, exactly. And I have such a respect and value for where modern day rock music came from. And like, a lot of bands probably don't understand that because, you know, it's very much like, oh, this is the scene now. But I think you have wealth from the past. You have to understand the history in order to inform the future. And I never want to feel like I don't know about the roots of this thing. You know, you can take
and I feel like that's why a collaboration is so important as well, because like we've had sessions where we've not even written anything, we've not used a song, but we've learned so much from doing that session from that one person or two people or whatever. And it's not just about like people kind of poo-poo it and say like, oh, well, you're just doing that because you can't write your own songs. It's like, no, we can, but we also love it, you know, playing with other musicians and exploring new avenues of kind of creativity. So
seeing how they produce something, because there's times we've gone, oh, that's sick, we'll steal that and we'll take it back to our studio and we'll do it. But like, you know, I think anyone from that era of, like, you know, the Bikini Kill era and, you know, Riot Girl era for me would be awesome, because that was when I was a kid. That was what I kind of attached onto, because I wasn't really a Paramore fan or anything like that. I went backwards. I went back in time and was a big fan of the Clash and the Ramones and the Replacements and Operation Ivy, and that whole era was where I kind of found myself. And so I kind of take that rawness through to what we're doing now. So it's kind of digital meets analog, I think, was what Hot Milk kind of represents a little bit.
Perfect. Brilliant. Well, just to wrap up then, I'll be quick on this. You've talked about making memories, and I mean, if someone had seen Hot Milk, whether they were a fan or not, or whether they caught you at a show or listened to a record, what would you want them to take away from it?
We're one big family. I think we've always driven that home. Like, no one is above or beneath anyone. Everyone is just here together. Like, we do this because we love to do it. And I think the people that are involved, you know, down to management, down to the label, down to fans, are there for the same reason. They're there because they love music, and they're just massive music people. They love people and they love music, and that's just why it gels so well.
I think I'd like them to take away that it's a bit chaotic at times, but it's powerful. I think it being powerful is an important thing. And yeah, that feeling of when everyone is saying the same word really loud in a moment of euphoria, I think that is, if you could bottle that feeling, I think that would be the biggest sold drug on planet Earth.
100%. That's why it was so hard for many artists through the pandemic, because you just don't have that adrenaline rush. You don't have that feeling of togetherness. And
yeah, I think we just want to change. We want to change the world in a positive way. We want to leave, give people the ability to think differently and to think through love. And like I've always, it's not happened yet, but as soon as someone's a fucking dick at one of the shows, I'm jumping in that crowd and chat shit, get banged. You know what I mean?
Perfect. It's been great talking to you. Like I said, I've seen you a couple of times. I really enjoyed the show, so I'm looking forward to catching you again at some point in the next few months, and hopefully carrying on this conversation.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much for having us.
No, absolutely, and good luck with everything. And yeah, we'll catch you soon. Have a great weekend.